LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us. Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly two-thirds of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles.
Hello once again, and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's #1 source for motorcycle lifestyles, travel, and adventure. I'm T.W. Robinson, and we're so glad you're joining us today. This week, we take a ride through East Baton Rouge and Livingston parishes to a yellow brick house that serves up some mighty fine road food. Then we reacquaint ourselves with an old friend for a nostalgic ride into the past and a visit to one of Louisiana's true roadside treasures. And Amanda Joe says that with the right training, a little determination, and hard work, you too can have some pretty mad motorcycle skills just like her. All this and much more on this edition of LA Rider. So kickstands up, everybody. It's time to take another ride. Welcome to LA Rider. I'm TW. Over the last 20 years, I have traveled the back roads and out-of-the-way places looking for great places to eat. But as I discovered recently, sometimes the best places are right in your own backyard. Beating the heat and getting a little wind therapy was on my mind as Scarlett and I hit the road early on this hot August morning. With daytime temperatures reaching nearly triple digits, I had taken to leaving the house early, putting in a few hours of saddle time, and then grabbing lunch on the way home. I had been hearing about a restaurant in nearby Denham Springs, Louisiana that I really wanted to try out. But since it was only about 10 miles from my house, I decided to take the long way around with a ride through East Baton Rouge and Livingston parishes. The long way around turned my 10-minute ride into a 45-minute ride, which took me east on I-12 for a few miles, then north on LA-3245. After crossing US 190, I continued north on the Central Thruway, all the way to LA-37, or Greenville Springs Road. There I took a right and headed east again till I reached Magnolia Beach Road, where I took another right, crossed the Amite River into Livingston Parish, and toward LA-16. At LA-16, I took another right and rode south through downtown Denham Springs. When I reached US 190 again, I took yet another right and headed west a few hundred yards to the yellow brick house. The yellow brick house is located in a charming yellow brick building, but owner and chef Chad Matrana says yellow brick house was actually his second choice for his restaurant's name.
Actually, the red brick house was taken. Oh. So I said, well, we got to come up with something, so let's call it the yellow brick house. And this was a brick building, so we ended up painting it yellow.
The Yellow Brick House is an open kitchen restaurant with 2 dining areas. The daily menu is listed on a large chalkboard to the left of the counter. They offer breakfast and lunch Monday through Thursday, dinner only on Friday and Saturday, and a brunch on Sunday. Hello, I am. I would like the grilled grouper BLT.
Grilled grouper, what's your side?
Fries. While I waited for my grilled grouper BLT and fries, I checked out some of the other items on today's menu, including the baby back ribs, which I understand are a customer favorite.
We have a menu that changes every day, daily, and a lot. I don't know of another place around here that does that. I mean, we still have our cheeseburger that's done in-house every day. It's a staple. It probably won't go away. That's one of our menu items that won't change. But everything else is strictly inspirational and seasonal.
Another interesting aspect about the Yellow Brick House are the hand-painted tables, which add to the restaurant's charm.
So that's a work in progress now. Wade Boudreau is a local artist here who we commissioned and worked together to paint all of our tables, and it's no really rhyme or reason. It's just really whatever he feels like painting that day, kind of like the way we run our menu. And so he's been going through our dining room, taking tables in and out and things like that. So he's a great artist and even greater guy.
In a matter of minutes, my sandwich arrived at my table. Growing up in Florida, I have had my share of grilled grouper sandwiches. Time to see how this one stacked up. Look at the size of that. Yum. I don't know if I can bite this or not. Gosh. This calls for a napkin. That is unbelievable. Oh my God. Open about 10 months ago, the Yellow Brick House is a relatively new endeavor for Matrana, who learned his trade in the great restaurants of New Orleans.
I am from New Orleans originally. I'm a New Orleans native, grown up Irish Channel, and I got started in the kitchen at Commander's, and when I was about 18 years old, and then I just worked my way through the ranks. I went to the Windsor Court. Worked there when it was owned by the Orient Express. Worked at Mike's on the Avenue. Worked for the Brennans again at different restaurants and stuff. And so that brought me kind of full circle, in other fine dining restaurants as well. And I thought that there was definitely a need in this area for a independently owned restaurant, family restaurant that served really, really good food.
And it's really, really good. I don't believe I've ever had around here a grouper sandwich like that. That was pretty amazing. If you're looking for great food in a casual atmosphere, check out the Yellow Brick House. You never know just what will be on the menu, but you can bet it will be good. And if your appetite is big, you might want to come for Sunday brunch, which features an all-you-can-eat buffet from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. You can bet I'll be back for that real soon. Oh, and I need to check out the breakfast, too. The Yellow Brick House doesn't have a website, but you can find them on Facebook. Just look for Yellow Brick House, Denham Springs. Stay with us. When we come back, Amanda Joe takes on an apprentice.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Please watch for motorcycles. you might just save someone's life.
Motocross? We've got it at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. All the bikes, all the gear, and the expertise to help make you number one at the track. From beginner to expert, we've got just what you need at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. Come see us today at G & Gonzalez, Louisiana's oldest family-owned power sports dealer, located in downtown Baton Rouge in the shadow of the state capitol.
Race on down to G & Gonzalez. Becoming number one starts here. We're waiting for you!
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
Looking for a trailer? Check out Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. At Mike's 2 Baton Rouge locations, you'll find a huge inventory of high-quality motorcycle trailers, boat trailers, cargo trailers, utility trailers, and custom-built trailers. Plus, the largest inventory of trailer parts and accessories in the area. Can't find that perfect trailer? Let Mike build one for you. Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. 2 locations in Baton Rouge to serve you. They're rider recommended.
All of a sudden, I see this car. He stopped. Starts to turn out in front of us. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, crawling around, looking for, my boyfriend just to make sure he was okay. In 2 seconds, it can all be over. And people don't take the time to think about that when they're on the roads, because in our situation, the guy said, I saw them. I just thought I could make it. I never, ever in my entire life thought this would happen to me, honestly.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana.
I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Welcome back. 2024 has been an incredible year for our resident motorcycle skills champion, Amanda Joe. In just a few short years, Amanda has gone from a first-time motorcycle rider to a highly decorated, skilled riding champion. So is that something anyone can do? Well, believe it or not, Amanda says yes.
With training and practice, any rider can be a better rider, TW. And if they have the desire and determination, they can make the transition to competition rider with as little as 30 days of training. Let's meet Corey Bourne. I first met Corey Bourne at the Gulf Coast Motorcycle Skills Competition in Gonzales in October of 2023. Corey was fascinated with the way competitors handled their machines through the tight turns and corners and expressed an interest in learning to ride like them. A few days later, Corey and I met in Ponchatoula to learn more about training and what we do at Cajun Thunder Motorsports. Hi, Corey. Hey. It's so good to see you.
You too, girl.
Oh, I'm glad you made it.
Me
How
too.
are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited for our training.
Thank you.
All right, come on in. I can't wait to show you around the shop.
Wow.
All right.
There's a lot going on in
there
here.
is a lot going on here. So this is where we keep our personal bikes. Outside is where we keep our competition bikes.
Okay.
So excited to show you all of it.
Yeah,
So come
let's
this
go.
way. Come on in. So this is where we come to have our meetings as a team. This is where we like to display some of the trophies that we have won. I don't know why, but Daytona is just so special to me because it was my very first one, and Daytona will be your first one as well. On a chilly morning, a month or so later, Corey's introduction to skilled rider training began. We're gonna first start with picking up the motorcycle.
That's a good idea.
Okay, because it will fall. It's just a matter of time, and it's okay. But we'll start now being able to pick it up. Okay. Step one, you make sure the bike is not in neutral. If it's in neutral and you try and pick it up, it's just gonna spin all the way around. So, step one. All right, now it's in gear.
Okay.
All right, so what you wanna do is you wanna put your butt down on the bottom of the seat. You wanna hold on to the hand grip, bring it in close to you.
Okay.
And then you want to grab onto something sturdy. I would not recommend the saddlebag, but there's a bar down here, but it can be uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I usually grab onto the seat. Might not be the best shoes, but I'm very grippy. But what you do now is it's all in the legs. Push back, and you just walk it up. Okay. Little steps, and you walk it up.
Okay.
And then at this point, you put the kickstand down, turn the bars, and then that's it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
There you go. So let's see. So always make sure the bike's in gear. We know the bike's in gear.
We have a photo bomber.
Oh, there's Renee. Renee wants to be part of the party.
So bring the bar in.
Yep, bring the bars in. Grab onto something sturdy. Walk it up. Walk it up. All in the legs. At this point, maintain balance. Kickstand right underneath you there. Yep, right there with the heel. It doesn't have a spring. So,
Yep, found that out.
There you
Okay, there we go.
What was that like for you, knowing that we would be starting with the bike on the ground?
It's like your first instinct is to panic, like, oh my gosh, like that is, I have to pick that thing up, like, cause you know it's not light, you know, but once you learn the technique of picking the bike up, it's really not as scary anymore. But my first instinct was scary and a bit intimidating of like, I need to get this bike up quick.
The first 2 days of practice were focused on basic road skills and learning a new machine. At this point, were your expectations met, or did you think, man, this is gonna be too easy?
When you pulled out the Road King for me to see that I would be riding for competition, it was a bit scary because I could see that, wow, that's a big bike. I'm sure that's very heavy. And obviously when I got on it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely gonna be a beast to learn to ride. But you know, the more I've rode on it, the more comfortable I've become. But it was, you know, a little bit scary at first, but I knew I could overcome, you know, feeling a little intimidated by it.
In the coming weeks, we will follow Corey through the training process and see just what it takes to transition from rider to motorcycle skills competitor. I'm Amanda Joe for LA Rider.
Thanks, Amanda. Can't wait to see how Corey does. Stay with us. When we come back, we take a rather nostalgic ride to a place where the root beer floats would get a big thumbs up from the Fonz himself.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Please watch for motorcycles. You might just save someone's life.
Right when I got at the intersection of Choctaw and Foster, this great Challenger just jumped in the turning lane and bust a quick left turn in front of me right while I was at the intersection. All I could remember was the big crash, and next thing I know, I was in EMS headed to the Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Sustained a pelvis fracture from the front and the back, plus I sustained a crushed wrist. Just trying to get back straight now. Plus I had 3 major arteries leaking, so I had internal bleeding when I went there, so they had to do emergency surgery to get that taken care of before they could get this here going. So actually I went through 3 surgeries. I had big Daymaker lights on and all kind of other lighted up areas on it, you know. Plus I had a little noisy exhaust on it, you know. And I don't see how he wouldn't have seen me.
Please watch for motorcycles. You might just save someone's life.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us. Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly 2/3 of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please watch for motorcycles.
All of a sudden, I see this car. He stopped, starts to turn out in front of us. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, crawling around, looking for, my boyfriend just to make sure he was okay. In 2 seconds, it can all be over. And people don't take the time to think about that when they're on the roads, because in our situation, the guy said, I saw them. I just thought I could make it. I never, ever in my entire life thought this would happen to me, honestly.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana.
I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Welcome back. Long before the Golden Arches sprouted up all over America, drive-in restaurants were all the rage, complete with car hops and curb service. Most have disappeared, but a few still survive, like Frost Top in Laplace. The year was 2007. LA Rider TV was just entering its 3rd season, and I was searching for interesting and out-of-the-way places. It was my last ride on this beautiful 2003 silver and black 100th anniversary Harley Heritage, and I was heading south from Baton Rouge on US 61. The Heritage wasn't only a good-looking bike, it was also a great ride, and it fit me like a glove. But every biker has a story about the one that got away, and this was mine. The Heritage and I parted company after only a handful of rides, but recently we were reunited. It's been 17 years since I took my last ride on the Heritage, and I thought, what better place to go than the place I took it 17 years ago. Wow. Riding the 21-year-old Heritage is certainly nostalgic. I quickly realized how much more visceral Harleys were before the days of 6-speed transmissions and Milwaukee 8 motors. This old 5-speed Harley roars down the highway. Oh, I know my 2023 Street Glide is much more powerful, but it purrs in comparison to the growl of the Heritage. This portion of U.S. Highway 61 between Baton Rouge and New Orleans is called Airline Highway, and many people think the name Airline was chosen because it connects 2 airports. But in railroad days, an airline was the straightest route between 2 points, and there is hardly a curve on this part of US 61. I have made this ride many times on a variety of motorcycles, and each time I wonder what this highway was like before I-10. Before the interstate, this was the main highway between the capital city and the Crescent City, and it was lined with roadhouses, restaurants, and roadside attractions. But when the traffic was pulled away, many of those old businesses and attractions disappeared. That is, until you reach Laplace, where shopping centers and big box stores abound. And in the midst of all those retail centers and parking lots located near the southern edge of town, a huge frosty mug of root beer slowly rotates, beckoning roadside travelers back to simpler times of hot rods and poodle skirts. Since 1958, this frosty mug and the tasty roadside food offered at the Laplace Frost Top Drive-In have been a favorite of River Parish locals and travelers too. Morris Terry built the original drive-in, and his daughter Evelyn and husband Jimmy Toller took over in 1973. The Toller's daughter Terry joined them as owner-manager in 1993. Even though there have been a couple of renovations, including the addition of a dining room, the restaurant maintains its old-fashioned drive-in atmosphere. But it's not the nostalgia alone that draws people here. It's the food. A mix of original menu items like Frost Top burgers, floats, and shakes, along with local favorites like crawfish Monica and fried green tomatoes. But today I was longing for an old-fashioned Lotta burger and a rich root beer float, and I was not disappointed. First I have to have a taste of this. Just as good as I remember. And I remember it even after 17 years. Yum. Ooh, that looks delish. I get a big bite of this. Oh, delicious. Tidy up. The Lotta burger lived up to its name. It was definitely a lot of burger, and I devoured every bit of it. But I took my time with the float. I don't know who invented the root beer float, but it was perfected at Frost Top. Yummy. At one time, hundreds of Frost Top drive-ins could be found all over America. Today, there's only a handful, and one of the best is right here in Laplace Frost Top. Oh, there is one more bit of nostalgia outside. One of those old-fashioned scales where you can weigh yourself for a penny. I have to put 25 cents in, and I'm not doing that.
It's not a penny anymore?
No, it's 25 cents, quarters only. But I don't even want to know. I guess it's best not to know after such a delicious burger and a root beer float. Frost Top is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. Take a trip into the past with a ride down US 61 to Laplace Frost Top. The root beer float alone is worth it. Until next week, I'm T.W. Robinson. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. See you next time on LA Rider.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.